had got me to load him up with, he said, I want you to tie every bandolier you can on my harness. I said, well, I'll try it. But the reason why he was so his brother got killed in it.
Hi guys, welcome to the Storm and Cellar. Hopefully many of you are familiar with Band of Brothers, made famous by Stephen Ambrose's book, Band of Brothers, and also the HBO miniseries of the same name. Well, I had the great honor of interviewing Private First Class Bradford Freeman, who affectionately is known as Mr. Brad, and he's the last living member of the 101st Airborne 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment of Easy Company that made up Band of Brothers. In my opinion, Mr. Brad is a national treasure. He really is. And I'd like to present a four-part series of our interview. First, I think it's important to know a little bit about Mr. Brad before we get into the interview. He was born in 1924, and he went to Mississippi State University, where he dropped out in 1942 to join the Army and go to Europe for World War II. Became really good friends with Lieutenant Dick Winters, who was the platoon leader at the time. And I don't know, he was a country boy or whatever, but Lieutenant Winters just took an instant liking to him. In fact, he offered to send him to officer candidate school, which Mr. Brad declined. His war service included his drop on D-Day in Normandy, the rescue of the British commandos, and also the siege of Bastogne, where he was wounded twice. Well, Mr. Brad went back for 3 months to recover from his wounds, and fortunately was able to hook back up with the Easy Company during the occupation of Berchtesgaden and Austria. After the war, he married his sweetheart, Willie, and had 2 daughters, and lived in Mississippi the rest of his life. He finished college on the GI Bill and became a postman for 30 years. And believe it or not, no one knew anything about his wartime exploits or heroism or anything else until Band of Brothers came out, and he received instant notoriety, and it's well deserved. I think honestly that it's been a disservice to younger generations that they were not able to hear and understand the commitment that our greatest generation gave to us. So he and Dick Winters, they remained friends until Winters' death in 2011. And Mr. Brad still works on his farm in Mississippi and does some speaking engagements, although they've slowed down a little bit, but he loves to tell his story. And so without further ado, part 1 of my interview with Mr. Brad, and we'll discuss his service with Easy Company right up to the big jump. It's a real honor to be with Private First Class Bradford Freeman, better known and affectionately known as Mr. Brad, one of the members of Easy Company and a true American hero and treasure. And he's kindly given me the opportunity to ask him some questions about Easy Company, the 101st, his life experiences there, and I'll just go ahead and start shooting away, so to speak. Okay. Well, you went through, a lot of Easy Company went through Toccoa. You went through Fort Benning for training. I digress a little bit, but how was training there compared to what they said Toccoa was? Same training? Same, okay.
Not bad.
Now, there was an incident. Well, you did one jump where I guess your leg got caught in your harness, well, and you had some chewing tobacco. What happened to that chewing tobacco?
I didn't know.
No way you swallowed it, right?
I don't know. But anyway, and that fellow could tell you how to do it, you know. You had a fellow on the floor, on the ground, that was watching you. He could tell you every time. And but after that, it was just
you're on your own.
Easy jump. That was about my third jump.
So you not being a Toccoa man, but no one really had any combat experience to that point. Were you accepted by the Toccoa guys immediately when you got to England?
Yes, sir. And of course, I'd always been in trouble, no matter where I'd ever been. And it wasn't no different whenever I got there. You wasn't supposed to build a fire in England. I mean, yeah. And we was down there next to the big city, and you wasn't supposed to build a fire. Well, when Garnier come and got us, I got a corporal. I was a corporal. So he told me, he said, he come in, they put us in a thing, and I built a fire. And of course, smoke went out, and it wasn't supposed to, but anyway.
Now this is in England, right?
In England, yeah. That's whenever we joined up. Well, they, whenever he come in, and you know they'd been having trouble up there beforehand, so he wasn't happy anyway. And he said, "Who built the fire?" I told him I did. He said, "How come you built a fire?" I said, "It's 'cause I was cold." He turned around and left, and he says, "Well, you take these other boys up yonder to the lieutenant and put them in and tell them where to go in, and then you follow them, and he'll set y'all free." And he signed them all. So he done that. There's about 15 of us, that's 17, I think. And so then, whenever he got to me, he told me, he said, we don't have a corporal, so we are demoting you." So I was demoted to first class PFC.
That's kind of where you wanted to be anyway. It's kind of the sweet spot, right?
That's a good spot.
Now, my understanding is you didn't take a shine to Lieutenant Winters immediately. Is that correct?
Yeah, we was just eyeballing one another. And,
Stare down.
yeah. And we sat there a good little bit. And then he started to get up. Well, I started to get up, and he just told me to sit back down. And then he came and told me, he asked me a few questions, and then I told him. He told me, he says, "Would you like for me to try to get you into where make officers and there in England?" I told him no, they wouldn't think so. He asked me why I was. I said, "Well, I'm too little. Somebody will whoop me." And, well, he grinned, and then he said, would you want to transfer?" I told him, "Well, no, not." I said, "Well, you didn't cuss, so I reckon you're a pretty good fella." And me and him were friends after that all the time.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, yeah, you did bond with him there. I guess there was an incident with the when he took your rifle. When he took your rifle, you bonded with him then too, right?
Oh yeah. And he was, whenever you're supposed, whenever you go have an inspection, you lift up your track and knock the thing open. Well, when he's supposed to shut it, whenever not supposed to shut it, whenever you give it back to him, but he shut it, and he was talking to me all the time and asking me about did they use any razor? I told him yeah, and whenever he let it, and he started to hand it to me, I dropped my hands. I started up with him, and he just looked at me and grinned, and he says, did they issue you a razor? I told him, yes, sir. He said, you better get that peach fuzz off your face. And so, me and him was very happy ever since.
That's good. Lifelong friends after that, huh?
Uh-huh.
So when you guys got to U Pottery, I guess there was a lot of planning and training and stuff like that before the actual jump day.
Yes.
And you had a weather delay before the actual jump.
Yes.
Everybody was
It
ready.
rained that night.
Everybody was ready to go, I guess, and then
Well, they
called
ready.
it.
And Carnegie had got me to load him up with, he said, I want you to tie every bandolier you can on my harness. I said, well, I'll try. But the reason why he was so his brother got killed in
Right.
Italy. So,
Montecasino?
I
At Montecasino?
just I
Mhm.
didn't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got them letter that time. And so he wanted me to load it. And I loaded him too. And me and him got to be buddies.
Oh, that's good.
Buddies too. Well, I was good buddies to all of them, I reckon. I didn't ever have no problem with nobody.
Most Southern boys do get along with folks, don't you think?
Most
Southern boys do get along with folks.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But we had a bunch of Yankees.
Well, that's why they had you then. They had you there to kind of keep things smooth.
Well, we got along just as good
That's
as any
good.
of them.
That's good.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your time listening to Mr. Brad reflect on his time with Easy Company. Please join me for next time for part 2 of my interview with him. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you may have in the comments section below. And until next time, always remember what I say, make sure your takeoff and landing's equal. Thank you and have a great day.